Let's create a makeup look inspired by the artwork of Lucio Fontana. On days that I do a more sultry eye look, I tend to go a little bit more subdued with the blush, and the best for that, for me, is the Milani Baked Blush in Petal Primavera. It just gives a really beautiful, subtle glow. You may even want to skip blush on days where you're doing a more sultry, feminine look, like the baddie babe look, you know? Because as they say, baddies don't blush. Using this blush to contour as well, very loosely. I basically just rub that on there and then kind of push it around into the position that I want it in. Perfect. Using the Revolution London Maxi Reloaded Large It Up palette, I'm taking shade 28 and just take this all over the lid and up into the brow bone, whatever's left, and kind of just blending and blending and blending until I get a nice subtle wash of that color. Now I'm going to take this gold shade number 33 in the Maxi Large It Up palette on a finger and lay that down all over the lid, concentrating the color again down at the lowest part, winging it out a little bit, and then taking the finger that doesn't have any pigment on it and blending out those edges to diffuse the color. Dipping back in for layer 2, keeping the color just right there on the lowest part of the lid, tapping in lightly into the crease and out, then taking the finger again that does not have pigment on it and doing the same thing. So I basically do multiple layers of the same action to get a layered effect. I think I'll go in with dip number 3 and just right there down at the bottom and wing out slightly. Now I'll repeat this on this eye. Now I'm going to take a matte black shade, also from the same palette, obviously. Shade number 29 in this palette, black. Working that color into the brush so that I don't get fallout like that. So I'll start at the center of the pupil, just very lightly stippling to start laying down that baseline, all on the lash line first, and then I'm just gonna go straight out. See how when I lift my lid, it completely changes the placement? So I try to keep my face as relaxed as possible so that it's in the natural position that it'll likely be in all day. And then that way the line sits the way that I want it to. See how I'm totally skipping the bottom here? I want this to be kind of more futuristic femme, if that makes sense. Then buffing out those edges. That's feeling about right. Then I'll just keep going back in and elongating and buffing out. Now I'll do it on the other eye. Now that I have those 2 lines down, which I feel very pleased with, I'm going to take a little bit of saliva. You can take water if you're not comfortable with this. Just a little bit of saliva, that same black pigment, rub it in the saliva to really darken it up and kind of further intensify the blackness. Now I'm just going over those lines, but just keeping that pigment right there in the center. I kind of want the outsides of the line to be more buffed out and smoky. Kind of, you can think of it like a bone structure. I'm just giving depth right there to the center of that wing. See the difference? Gonna fix that little gap there. Yes. let's do lashes. First, I'm going to brush the brows up, curling the lashes. There was a little bit of fallout with that black eyeshadow. See these little particles? So I'm just gonna take some Scotch tape and just push, oops. Getting this shit all over the place. Push that in and then tear it up. And it takes off all of those little particles, and all you have to do is go back in with a little bit of blush. Little magic trick. Scotch tape is also really helpful if you need a guide to make a very straight line. This can be a very helpful tool if you're not yet comfortable making straight lines. So really highly recommend to have this in your makeup kit. Now I'm going to take the Maybelline Firework Mascara in Blackest Black. And I think we'll do kind of like a falsie lash today. So the way that I like to do that, because I don't want a super chunky lash on the top, I want it to look very feline and elongated and wispy. So I'll really start at the root of the lash and wiggle the comb back and forth, and then like ever so slightly blink as I'm doing that to kind of rub the lash just slightly through it, but I'm not taking it out onto the ends of the lash yet. I will do that as a last step just to build out the color. But for now, I'm just concentrating most of that pigment and that product right down there at the root, and then steadily and gently working it out. So it's kind of like building out the lash in a very repetitive, slow motion so that you don't get a huge chunky lash. Now I'll repeat that on this eye. Now going to do the lower lash and just barely touching them, like ever so gently, ever so slightly, because I don't want it to get clumpy. I just want them to look slightly tinted. While the lashes are drying, I'm going to pencil in my brows, and I'm just doing this very light-handed. I'm basically just filling in areas where there's negative space in the brow. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with that mascara for the second coat, but this time I am going to scrape all of the product that is on the wand back, not all of it obviously, but I'm gonna scrape a lot of that product back in to the container so that we're not getting a clumpy lash. We're just building upon what we already created and keeping that wisp as much as we can with this formula anyway. To keep the emphasis on the eyes today, I'm going to do a nude matte lip. One of my favorite combos to do this is the ColourPop Lippie pencil in BFF. Beautiful, warm, neutral nude. And I just do a very high Cupid's bow. I'm doing that lip liner technique that I showed you guys the other day to create the illusion of a fuller lip. This is very helpful. Love, love, love this color. Use the CoverGirl Ultimatte liquid lipstick in Prosecco Pop. This is the prettiest nude neutral liquid lipstick that I have ever tried. It has, at least the way it reads on my skin tone, it has like an extremely subtle lavender tinge to it. It is so, it's my favorite. And I can't find it on Amazon. I haven't checked in a while, but I'll actually, after I make this video, go and look. Some people said that they have found it at Walmart, but yeah, hopefully this isn't discontinued because this is my absolute favorite nude matte liquid lip. This is the final look. I'm so stoked with how this turned out. I feel super snatched, feminine, lifted, pulled back, all the things that we think of when we think of youth and fucking fierceness. Slightly evil. I gotta really work on not lifting up my eyes to keep that super. Just slash right across the face, like a knife. gorgeous. What do you think of this eye look? Are you going to try it? Tag me if you recreate this look. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and ciao for now.